Climate change is an existential threat to our planet and humanity. Extreme weather events amplified by climate change, such as the recent devastating floods in Pakistan, demonstrate the urgency of limiting global warming. Yet, often we feel overwhelmed and powerless. What can we do to address climate change in the university setting? My name is Burkard Eberlein, and I'm a professor of public policy and sustainability in the Schulich School of Business. I incubate future leaders for positive change on climate action right here at York University. Students in my fourth-year BBA class on corporate social responsibility in a global context learn about the global challenge of climate change. We focus on Sustainable Development Goal 13, climate action, which calls on the global community to take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. My students quickly realize that global climate agreements and current business and government actions fall painfully short of where we need to be in terms of required emissions reductions. In the search for solutions, I encourage them to see the connection between this global issue and their own local community, York University. York University is committed to achieving net zero carbon emissions by 2049 or sooner, and to curb the university's direct and indirect emissions by 45% by 2030. But how will York get there? This is where I challenge my students to propose specific initiatives that can help York reduce its carbon emissions. Based on student preferences, we selected 3 areas for action: commuting to campus, university purchase of goods and services, and food consumption and production on campus. A key component of this project is to connect students with those individuals at York who develop climate initiatives in relevant operational areas. Some are invited as guest speakers, such as the Program Director, Office of Sustainability, or the author of York's first carbon inventory. Others meet with the student teams that are assigned to their area of expertise, such as procurement, food, etc. This gives students a better understanding of the practical opportunities and barriers for climate action in the York context. This past term, students worked in 13 teams comprised of 5 to 7 students to surface best practices from universities globally and develop creative and practical recommendations that address York's carbon profile and context. On the topic of commuting to campus, for example, students recommended enhancing the use of public transit by way of universal transit passes for students, and suggested parking discounts for electric vehicles and carpooling, the electrification of buses, and engaging students in carbon-friendly commuting through gamification and apps. Students pitched their recommendations in a case competition to a panel composed of York senior administrators and sustainability leaders, as well as business experts. It is immensely empowering for students to present their recommendations directly to a panel of York decision makers. One student remarked about the team case competition, "One of the only final projects where I feel my effort might make a change in the real world." In addition to providing an experiential learning experience, the case competition event thus shows to students that they are not helpless, but have agency. They are change agents in their own communities, at York, and at their future workplace. They also take away a better understanding of SDG 13 climate action and of the UN SDGs more generally. I am confident that infusing SDG 13 in my course will help incubate the next generation of sustainable change agents with the skills, knowledge, and mindsets to face the complex challenges articulated by the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Change happens at the level of communities, where we feel a connection and can take concrete action. It is our privilege as educators to create these opportunities for connection and action surrounding the UN SDGs right here at York University.